Welcome to the Tone Jerks Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Gower, and with me today we got...
Kyle McIntyre.
Kyle McIntyre.
Kyle McIntyre. That's Kyle McIntyre.
And my name's Kyle McIntyre.
Oh, hey, do you know Kyle McIntyre?
All right, Kyle, what's new in your world? What is shaking? What is grooving? What is good?
Oh, so, super excited. I'm sure everyone wants to know, but I started a...
You already don't sound excited. You're like,
oh, man. Well, you know, this is probably because my low energy, you know what I'm saying?
working on the car the other day, and then I played a video game, and...
Yeah, let's fucking talk about that for fucking 45 minutes.
Where's the fucking gear talk?
Yeah. All right, Doug, we hear you, okay? We're sorry.
So, my car.
But anyways, yeah, my fucking car.
They don't build them like they used to.
We got this new video game. So, in that same spirit, I'm on... I started a like low carb diet.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had like a come to Jesus moment. Saw myself on the scale, which found out that the scale was like way off, but still, I found out that it was way off and I'm still on it. I'm like, I started this bitch. I'm going to fucking finish it.
You're still like, well,
the scale is like,
even the true weight is like, ooh.
Yeah, it's true. That's how bad it is
big,
still.
It's like the oof size, like oof.
Yeah.
Large.
Ooh. So yeah, it was like 25, almost 30 pounds off, but I'm still like,
and that's not enough to be like, oh yeah,
I'm good. Whenever I get there, then I'll have the same reaction. Like, no, just
I bought myself 30 pounds.
I know how I'm gonna react when I get there, or I might soften the blow. Who knows? I'm like, well, I've been there mentally before.
I mentally know what that's like. We can get to the next
so stupid
mile mark.
So I'm still, I had like a, you know what, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can cut those kind of things. I don't need, it's like, you don't really need
the sweet treats.
Yeah. Because, man, I've talked about Oreos a lot. Just think about how many I've eaten, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Think about the ones I didn't talk about.
Yeah. I think the hardest is cutting out. I got to the habit of snacks. Yeah. You're like, oh, I'm just going to have like this, like a little nibble here and there. Like, well, that turns out to like a million nibbles. And you're like...
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
It's all gone. Got to go to the store and get some more.
Like, oh, yeah, you can just have a little bit. I'm like, nah, fuck it. Like, one Oreo turns into like, I'm fucking sick.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh, wow, that whole thing's gone.
The sleeve's gone.
You're yelling at other people. You shouldn't have eaten so many.
Who the fuck ate them all?
It was you. Who did this? Who made you like this?
You look in the mirror. You point at yourself like, fuck. You son of a bitch.
Who taught you to do that? You did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're on it.
Yeah, so I'm like not even a week really into it. It started Sunday, so today's Thursday.
Yeah, but
I'm surprisingly disciplined.
Yeah, you got to keep it on. We're doing it together. I'm on a low carb too.
I'm easing into it, so it's like, I mean, not the carb. The carb part is like done. Like except for this White Claw, you know.
Hey,
it's like
only two carbs. Come on,
okay, I get it. That. But like. It's fine. I did doing some like comparison shopping while I'm looking at shit. I'm like, holy shit, that has like, you know, a good 50 carbs.
Yeah, I think
compared to like the low carb option, which is like 3.
Yeah, I think I said
it was looking at tortillas or something
on the Patreon, or maybe I even just said it in conversation with you.
Yeah,
which sucks because sometimes we just talk and I'm like, I don't remember what we said on.
Did we talk about that?
Like, yeah, I hate the idea of repeating, but sometimes it'll happen. But I was like saying to you, I was like, oh yeah, sometimes I would get like for like $3, you can get like 2 of those Hurricanes or whatever, like the tall cans, and I would just crush 2 of those. I'd be fucking blitzed, and I'm done. And I'm look at like the whole can of those has like 50 carbs. I'm like, oh god damn, I just had 100 carbs in just my liquid. I'm like, no wonder. Yeah, it's just bullshit. So I'm trying to like, okay, drink less. And if I do drink, I'm just gonna I
don't usually only drink for the podcast. I rarely will have a beer or something. I'll have it at practice. Yeah, I guess.
You're a social drinker.
Yeah,
not me. I drink all the time. I hate my life. Kill
me. God damn.
Just kidding.
God, let's bring down the mood here. God, I was being happy about this. Yeah. Anyway, so I've been just doing salads and more protein, so more meat. But so
you're getting jacked.
Yeah,
you're jacked.
No, not yet. So
pop the shirt off. You're just fucking like shredded.
Let me just pop this top off here. No, what I found is the way I do best with like breaking into dieting and exercising more is like just do one thing at a time. So people try to do everything at once and they fail. I mean, I don't know. They try and oh, I'm going to do the diet and I'm going to exercise and I'm going to do this. And I'm like, for me, I need to be disciplined one thing at a time and then I can break it. But yeah.
You can keep this going. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. That's good.
So I've been pretty disciplined, but today, I did have a relapse a little bit. I had a sandwich today.
Okay.
But it wasn't like, and I only had like one sandwich, usually I'd probably slam two. Well, it was a special occasion. I was up north. A buddy had recommended a restaurant that's like internationally well known. It's called The Hat.
Yeah.
It's like they specialize in, was it not Reuben's, but pastrami sandwiches.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'll get a sandwich then. I can't have it without the bread, but I mean, I could have, but I didn't. So that's been my only bread basically that I've had.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked on that. And then got home, had a wrap, which I guess is still, it's like 2 carbs for one, but
yeah.
So I'm carb counting,
Yeah, there you go.
Super exciting shit.
New year, new you. We're like 8 months in the year.
We're in the apocalypse right now.
Yeah.
Might as well stay fit,
Yeah. Kyle's looking fit.
Yeah. She's fit.
He's fit.
He's fit. And then that was really exciting. And then so Doug would like this because it's gear related. Doug Christ, 37FX. I got a Soundstone. So actually I don't have it.
But you ordered it.
I ordered it. So it's like when you look at an ad, you might have clicked it on accident, right?
Yeah.
But it pops up every like couple weeks.
Yeah.
I think I've seen this ad like probably 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
First, I think when I first saw it was like the Kickstarter or whatever, and I'm like, I'm not gonna
like on like Instagram or
Facebook.
Facebook.
I think it was
or something.
Facebook. And then they showed like the person demoing it, and then every like couple months it was a different ad, and I'm like, and I thought about it, I'm like, all right, well, let me look at other options. So basically, it's like a sustainer.
It's like an EBO kind of.
Yeah, it's like an EBO. So it sustains using magnets and moving the string. So it basically, you can make some really, really cool sounds with it. And
so basically, yeah, I always see that and I'm like, oh yeah, you can use, it's like a harp kind of sound that you can do because you're just holding the note and just like, you're not hitting the like percussive of the string, you're just vibrating the string.
Well, basically you can make it sound like like synth, right? Like a string synth with very low attack. So it's just like it swells into it. So you make these crazy swell noises and
just adding to
I'm sure there's, it's kind of hard to play at first to kind of figure it out, but I mean, like everything, but I'm kind of stoked on this. I mean,
just getting, I don't know, opening yourself up to more sounds.
Yeah. When
you're like recording and writing stuff.
Yeah.
Especially for, I don't know, what you're doing with Sunrunner.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's the new name that I'm going with.
Synth project.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can actually like, I don't know, come up with the different stuff. And I'm sure that would be good for mixing with modulation, delay, reverb.
Oh,
shit like
that
you have a lot of and that you like.
Yeah. And I think like, why wouldn't I want one? And so I had seen like the ad for it recently. And I kind of went down the comments just to see what, which is probably the worst place to like try and find. These people have not bought it. Neither have they done any research. They're just being a bitch, right?
Yeah.
Some of these people. But so one of the guys was like, why wouldn't you just buy?
That's fine. We're going to keep this in.
All right.
So we got the fucking air,
the
helicopter.
National Guard's fucking landing in my backyard right now.
And then,
so some of the comments.
A fan going to. Sorry for those.
It's hot.
Yeah, we got it's hot in here in the Jerk Lounge. We got the fan going. So if you hear like a fan, like, that's fucking distracting me. Sorry, I'm gonna try and gate it. But
we're trying not to die in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, speak for yourself.
I'm trying to live. So some of the comments are like, why wouldn't you just buy an EBO?
Yeah, everybody just like,
all right, well, that's a good point. Why wouldn't you buy this other product? For me, I wouldn't just go, well, I'm looking at this. Why would you say that on this fucking other site, right? On this other thing. I went to Reverb. I'm like, let's see what an EBO costs.
Yeah.
A used one is like $90.
which is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
It's like as much as a pedal.
Yeah. So it's $90 for a used one, which could have been dropped, which could be broken, which might not work. All right. So
we've seen a show where somebody was setting up and he used an EBO for the whole song and he dropped it and broke it. And he said to the singer, "He's like, I broke my EBO. I can't play that song."
Yeah.
Which he was like, I can't do it. He's like, looked at him like, just do it. What?
Yeah. Just hit, whatever.
Just play it anyways. And the guy would just like stood there.
Play it like mandolin.
Like the whole song, and he didn't play it because he just like, he couldn't adapt. So, and then you could think of like, how pissed would you be if you broke $100 piece of equipment?
Well, so that's the used cost.
It probably does $150, $120.
Yeah, they go up to like somewhere 120. I saw one as high as 150. So it's
a lot of money.
Yeah, that's the EBO. Okay, this is something that costs $35. Yeah, I bought something that costs $35.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it out. Let's say it sucks, but I kind of like the concept. Maybe I will get an EBO.
EBO's better, so try that.
Get the EBO.
Well, people are so brand loyal about the most random shit.
And I bet a bunch of those people don't even own one.
Like, it's funny to think of people so brand loyal for things like maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Cables.
Yeah.
People are very, very brand loyal for cables of like, oh, this company speaks to me or whatever.
Yeah.
Of like, oh yeah, nothing wrong with them because we own a bunch of like Sinusoid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. They do replace their shit if it breaks because I've broken a bunch of their shit. And then they've replaced it. No problem. No questions. Hey, here you go. Boop. And then, but like, it's funny to like, people are so brand loyal for that. And then I was listening to, I think, a podcast that Pete Thorne was on. And he was like, oh, he has like Music.com, like his little pedal switcher thing, which is kind of like, they make a product that's like comparable to like the ES8 or ES5 from Boss or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like people who's like, yeah, I posted something on Instagram or whatever, and like a bunch of comments saying, oh, this one sucks. Try the ES8. The Boss one's so much better. Why don't you get the Boss one? Why don't you get the RJM? He's like, people are fucking brand loyal about a pedal switcher?
Yeah.
What the fuck? He even said, like, I think he was on a podcast where he could curse. He's like, what the fuck, man? It's like, who gives a shit about a pedal switcher? It's like, I had the old one, so I bought the newer one that's smaller. And that's what I like for my board. But people were pissed that I didn't get the brand of pedal switcher that they like. It's like, it was just similar to your whole like sustainer thing. It's like,
who uses that?
It's like it's like they're trying to like reassure their purchase. Like, well, I bought a fucking, this EBO, so you should buy one too to make sure that we got the right one. You're on the EBO team.
Yeah, like the 16, 17 years of playing music, I've only seen one person use an EBO live.
And he dropped it.
And he dropped it. And he played 1.5 songs, possibly. I think it was probably even one.
And he broke it.
Like maybe 0.7 of a song.
But it was just funny to like, even Pete Thorne says like, yeah, people are blowing me up in the comments or on YouTube. It's like, you should have got this switcher. It's like, what the fuck? It's a switcher. It's not even part of the tone.
Yeah.
It's just like switch my pedals.
It's like a utility thing.
Yes, he's like, and people are brand loyal for that. It's like, what the hell?
That's pretty funny.
Like he's getting blown up.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Damn. Yeah, so I don't have it yet, but it should be here soon.
It's pretty cool. Like it's like a little cool, I don't know, purchase or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like a sustainer thing, whatever. It just it I guess it uses the magnet to move the string. I mean, so I better have metal strings. Doesn't work on nylon.
How do magnets work?
Yeah, god damn. You always manage to get that in here. Every 20 episodes.
Yeah. How do magnets work? Life is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean that's my what's new. I mean, we have a combined
one, so we can go into that and then I'll segue into mine.
Yeah, so we got some Shure. Is it Shure? Shure? Are you sure?
Are you sure it's Shure?
So yeah, we got some in-ears.
In-ear monitors.
Yeah.
We're going to be jumping onto that train of practicing with in-ears.
Chew, you know what I'm saying?
We've talked about it, and we finally,
They came in the mail.
Yeah, we dove in, and we got them in. the Shure SE 215s or whatever the hell they're called. It's kind of it's the basic standard or whatever, like $100 in-ear monitors.
Yeah, that's not that big of a buy-in.
2 drivers or whatever. There's some that like some monitors go up to like thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm like, and custom molds. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I think it'll.
No, we're not going to do that.
This will let us know if we want to do it, and without the fucking wallet ache.
Mm-hmm. And
you don't want to.
Brian has like a cheaper pair. From a different, I think, kind of like a no-name company or whatever. But he was able to get them. He's like, oh, you should try and get these. And like, oh, how much are they? I'm like, oh, they're like $10 less than Shure's. I'm like, I'm just going to get the Shure's.
Yeah.
So we got those, and I have a pair. You have a pair. I like the way they sound. I was tracking the other day with them, and they, they're kind of like sit differently than, they're not just like normal earbuds that you like, oh, Apple earbuds or like Sony's.
They don't just hang on they don't hang in your ears.
Yeah, they kind of wrap around your ear.
Yeah, they go like down and around.
They kind of go into the canal of your ears.
Yeah, they like wedge in there.
Like they get like a good fit and like a lot, like, I don't know, good sound transfer, I guess.
Yeah, from what I gave it like a little bit of a. I rushed through a couple different types of genres of music. And then I listened to like some of the stuff that I had made, so I knew, I guess, the difference of creating it and like playing back through the speakers and through my headphones, and then listening to it with the in-ear monitors.
You have your pretty good headphone over the ear ones, like with the AT40s, AT50s or whatever, Audio Technica, which are damn good headphones. They're good. And then so you're kind of comparing
ATH, M40Xs, by the way.
40s or whatever. And so, you're confident and comfortable with those. Yeah. You put these in, and it's a little bit different sound, right?
Yeah. No, definitely. I think that the Shure's were more like wider range of frequencies, so I could hear more bass actually.
Yeah.
And then more treble.
Yeah.
So, or maybe it was just more intense. I don't know, because
they're all in your ear.
It's fucking inside of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
In talking to Steve from 60 Cycle, I was kind of bugging him about a bunch of monitor questions.
It's a podcast. You should plug it.
Yeah, 60 Cycle Hum. Steve channel. Is like, maybe to his detriment, is like a resource that I can just like, message him. And I'm like, I got all these dumb questions about in-ears.
Quit bugging me, bro.
Fuck off. And he gave me his honest opinion about them. He's like, they're good. They're the standard. A lot of people don't like them because they're so bassy, but it might be fine for you guys if you're not like it. Like, to me, I'm like, all right, I think I'm just gonna go with those, and we did. So we got a pair of those, and I like them. I'm like, I think they'll be fine. They do block out a lot of sound, which is what we want when we're playing with live drums. So you and I are gonna be playing silently with my Fractal, your Sans amp, and then Brian is going to be playing live drums, so we're going to try and like block out some of his sound with like I bought some clear sound, like sound baffles to put around the cymbals to kind of try and stop like some noise.
Just throw like a blanket over the drums, like a sleeping bag.
Mm-hmm. If we can sound like put him in like one of those like vocal booths, but like just a drum booth.
No, it's like put a ball pit around him.
Yeah. Ball pit. Take him to DZ Discovery Zone.
Fuck yeah. Damn.
Love that place. Oh man.
Fucking DZ. Also, is it Pirates Cove?
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
I'm sure those were only San Diego like locals.
Definitely Pirates Cove was only San Diego. Yeah.
It's just like it was like Chuck E. Cheese, kind of like a
but damn, dude,
derivative of that.
It was like a maze though. Like it's like, oh, you got to find the blacked out slide. It's like And then you're like, oh, I found it. And then you go down the slide and you're like, oh shit, where is it? I don't know where, because you get disoriented going down it.
And you're like, I don't know where I am.
Oh shit. You spend all day trying to find like a certain spot. Anyways.
Yeah.
I digress.
But yeah, so we're kind of trying to block out the sound for that. I'm excited. We haven't used these at a live practice yet. So I'm like, maybe the listener has followed along of us saying that fucking in-ear monitors is fucking bullshit because it takes away the
Someone's
sound.
tallying up our shit, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, over the, like, what, we're almost 140 episodes, I think.
Don't like looper pedals.
Yeah. And then you have them or whatever. I was like, oh, I don't like, just amp sim pedals. Like, I got a fractal only.
Interesting.
Like, yeah.
Tally mark. And that's another one.
I hate guitar hangers.
Lost another one, Ditech.
Yeah. So, but,
here we are.
Yeah. It's,
we're eating our own words. We will take that.
I think, we will admit if we're wrong and that we're going to go back on our word.
Because, it's fine. We're growing, But the shit that we love, we probably will hate that stuff.
We're work in progress, baby. Yeah. We're all on different loading screens. We're coming into our own here.
Yeah,
we're doing it in real time, week by week, baby.
Week by week. Who knows? Tune in next week to see what we hate.
Step by step, day by day.
Damn, we should cover that song still.
Yeah, I barely remember that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. What show? Boom. Got him.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm excited about these.
Yeah.
I think they're a good buy, even if you're, because you were saying you're going to, the over-the-ear, Audio Technicas that you have, sometimes, they sweat, and you're just like, okay, I can't wear these while I'm gaming the whole time.
Yeah, I like to get some airflow in there.
Mm-hmm. So I think the Sures will help. So that's
One of my concerns is that it sounds too good. I mean, okay, not for playing, but for if I wanted to, if I was an idiot and wanted to mix with them, because they sound really good. It's I was tempting
tracking with them the other day
with them because damn, this sounds really good, but not all. It doesn't always translate when you move. Once you bounce something down and let's say send it through a bunch of different websites, it might sound like shit.
Yeah, and that's compression with other websites.
Yeah, exactly.
If you load to YouTube or whatever. And then, I mean, that's what I said. I like listening to the mix on several different sources.
Yeah.
So shitty, just stock Apple earbuds. I have 3 pairs of those.
Yeah.
Not the AirPods, but the earbuds.
Just the plugins. Yeah.
Yeah. The plug-in to your computer or whatever. I have those. So I listen on those. I listen to on my HS5s, which are not the biggest monitors. I'm sorry, I don't have the HS8s or whatever. But I have those, so they're my bigger monitors, or the only monitors I have. And then I have the Sony MDRs, I believe, and then I have the M50s or whatever the hell, the Audio Technica M50s. So I have 4 different things. If I'm just being very I don't know, overly let me check my mix on all these different things. It's good to do that. I think you should try it. Try your mix if you're going to put it up and publish it or put it on YouTube or whatever. Check it on your headphones. Check it on your monitors.
Check them in your car.
Check it in your... Yeah, I don't have that option.
Yeah. That's something I like to do is once it... So sometimes you listen...
that's what you should be doing.
I listen to it on my phone. Let's say something... I posted something the other day just on Instagram, and in my phone, you heard... which was... It was really low in the background. But on the phone, it sounded like it was in the forefront, which was I had feedback, delay feedback.
Yeah.
It's crazy noise. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I lowered that and I put it back. And then I played it back in the car once I had, put it back on whatever OneDrive or whatever website, hosting website. And I'm like, I can't even hear it. Mm-hmm. It's something with the phone, it only picked up those frequencies and it just mixed over everything. I'm like, okay, well.
So it's just trying to get it to sound
certain things sound
decent enough on everything. Which I'm people are I'll just make it sound good on these monitors, the best monitors in the world. Because you said, I'm you could be tricking yourself to your mix sounds great on these awesome fucking speakers, and then you hear something else on whatever. Because a lot of people listen to music, I'm just on my phone. Okay.
Yeah.
Which that's the meme of oh yeah, you spend all this money on this, the studio, the microphones, $10,000 mixing board and compression, bringing down to a 99-cent MP3 through $10, $5 earbuds.
Yeah,
or just streaming through
or
a
just
YouTube
a speaker on
or a ripped
phone.
MP3 on that somebody reposts on YouTube.
Yeah, and then record it in the background while they're filming.
Yeah, so it just it's just do the best that you can, and having these as a resource is going to be good. I don't know, I'm stoked on them.
Oh, that's my what's new.
Yeah,
or I guess that's our combined one.
Yeah.
But what do you have for your solo what's new, because you have to have one.
So I did sell a pedal. I think I've talked about it for a while, how it's been kind of just like a pedal that's been hanging around, and something I don't really need because you already own something. Compressor. I sold the MXR bass compressor.
Really?
I love that pedal, and this is okay. So I sold it because I have and I'm borrowing your MXR custom comp or whatever.
Yeah.
I sold
which is a good compressor.
It's a damn good one, and also the MXR bass comp is a damn good one.
I bet it's based off of that. Did you do any research on that?
No, I know the studio compressor
is the same thing.
Is the same thing as the bass one.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if like they have two main compressors from MXR.
The Dynacomp, pretty much.
Dynacomp, and then they have the.
I say Dynacomp. I'm like Dynacomp. Damn.
They have the Dyna, and then the whichever one you just named. I can't.
The bass comp.
No, they have two main. They have the white one and the red one. I can't even remember.
Oh, I think the super compressor or whatever, the custom compressor.
Custom comp.
Compressor.
Yeah,
custom compressor. The custom compressor is like a take on the Dynacomp.
Okay.
It has more options and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's a great
wider
one.
Range or something.
Yeah,
on
it sounds fucking killer or whatever.
Well, the Dyna's like the more vintage sounding compressor.
Yeah,
it's probably louder.
It's more squashy, I think. And I'm not a very big compressor guy, so people are like, well, it has all these options too. Okay, take it easy.
Fucking get that one compressor from Strymon, bro. You fucking stupid bitch. The Comrade or what it was. What was it? Comprende. I mean, probably.
Maybe.
Comrade? No, I think
it's Comrade.
Was it? Okay. But Comprende is probably a better one.
Comprende. Oh, I like that. I like that's got to be it.
Dude.
If Strymon didn't do that,
strike that from the record so no one fucking steals.
Yeah, if Strymon, if you didn't do that, God, you are fucking stupid.
You were fucking up.
But they're up in LA. We should beat the fuck out of them. Yeah. They didn't.
Just because they're local? Yeah. Or because they're within 100 miles?
we just punched their building. Not even knock on the door.
No damage to the building.
Ow!
Bleeding knuckles. Did it.
We drive by with a megaphone. Fuck you!
No one's even there because of COVID.
Got him. We drive by every Guitar Center. Fuck you!
Fuck you! All right. Back it up.
Yeah. So I sold my SP comp a while ago.
All right.
Which is exotic, great one, but I didn't need it because I didn't need a compressor that even if you already had one. So that's good. And then this one, the bass comp, as much as I liked it, I was like, I don't need it. But it totally didn't. So I listed it on Reverb, sold it before they raised their fees or whatever. So I got the maximum amount of money.
What's it like 2.2
like
or 2 point something percent or something?
Extra couple bucks or whatever. That was just like whatever. But I sold it, and as I checked that it was working or whatever before I listed it, and then like before I packed it up, I'm like, let me just give it a go, just make sure all the knobs work or whatever. And just because I checked that it was like lighting up or whatever.
Yeah.
Not even that it was like passing signal.
Yeah, but you wanted to hear what it sounded
like. I was like, I better check before it goes that it actually all works. And I did, and it worked really, really well. It sounded so awesome. I was so pissed that I had to like pack it up.
Damn.
Because I was like playing and just like finger like picking on my jazz bass. I was just like noodling on that little TB 500 at super, super low volumes. And man, that compressor sounded so awesome. So it was like one of those like,
now we're gonna have to get a studio one.
It's gonna be like a regret, but how much can you regret a compressor? Because I'm like, it's gonna be fine.
It's like,
because if
you didn't know compressors existed, like would you even need one?
Be fine. Totally fine.
It's true. But once you know they exist, you're like, shit.
Yeah, it's like, what have I been missing?
Yeah.
So especially for bass,
it's like
man,
ignorance is bliss, bro.
Yeah, playing finger style bass with a compressor is like, that's money. The punch is there, the feel is there. It almost just it makes you feel like you're a Superman. Like,
so that's what you're playing.
Oh yeah.
I'm a Superman.
Or yeah, I was thinking Goldfinger.
Yeah. Stinkfinger.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't really listen to that band. So.
Man,
that's the only song I know.
I was gonna go off. I'm like, I really love that pedal, but it's gone, and it's like, so long, sayonara.
Well, like I think I played that pedal like so long ago, like probably 5 years ago, probably more.
Yeah, I think
because it fucked up You sent it back, and then I never played it.
Yeah, I never played it again.
I didn't even see. I haven't even seen it since.
Yeah, and I pretty much put it back in the box because we got the Serpents from Ground Control Audio.
Yes,
and that's been great.
That has no problems. It's never no problems.
Yeah, I was like gonna let that
go.
That
one never no problem. Jesus Christ, the White Claw, slow down.
I know it's
Captain White Claw over here.
It's the late night.
Yeah. It's a Thursday, bro. Let loose.
Yeah. I always with these like later casts when we work, I sound way drunker than I normally am because I'm tired.
Yeah.
And I throw like 2 White Claws my way. And I'm like, woo! It just slow the record.
No.
But yeah, it's gone. And we have 2 compressors in the camp here, and they're fine.
I actually have another one. I have one from DOD.
Oh, yeah.
It's a vintage one.
So it's really like enough compressors, like times 3. You pretty much need one.
And like anything I record digitally, I can use the compressors I have in my DAW.
And I have one in my X8, which is great sounding, actually. It sounds awesome. So anyway.
Shit, we might have more compressors than anything else.
That we need, yeah. This is kind of, I don't know. It is gear related. But I've been having troubles with my barefoot buttons just coming loose. They just popping off.
Yeah.
And I think because I throw my foot basically at it, and exactly like I've said of the selling points of barefoot buttons is
Falcon Stomp.
It's like a yeah.
It's like your Super Smash Stomp.
Yeah, it's like Romper Stomp. I just basically throw my foot at it, just like the whole leg just at the pedal.
I bought you the blue shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I used it.
Oh,
and so I've been like just really like I said with the barefoot buttons, they're the bigger target. So I'm like, you sunk my battleship every time I hit the fucking pedal. And people say,
picture more of a RoboCop thing where he shoots the dude through the dress.
Yeah. Right in the fucking dick.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Damn, that's a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
First one. The other ones are garbage.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just stomp the shit out of my like barefoot buttons, especially on my Fractal.
Yeah.
And so they pop off all the time. So it's like every practice, one of them or 2 of them pop off. We played
off, dude.
That shit off shit off.
That live stream.
Well, I was gonna say that shit ass live stream, and I didn't like you said the pop off, and it got in my brain. Man, this.
Once you pop, bro.
Yeah, you can't stop. We should get some shit like vodka pop off or whatever and drink that.
The plastic bottle.
Yeah.
It's like low grade.
It's like, what are you guys, 19 years old?
I don't know how they sell that stuff to older people.
Really? Yeah.
I see people drinking that, buying it.
Yeah, just get smeared
Maybe it's just my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Shit.
But yeah, so I'm like that shit ass live stream show that we did. It's like 2 of them popped off. And I was like, God damn it. So I just threw them in the gig bag. And you were like, well, we can get that Loctite stuff. Is that what it is?
Thread locker.
Thread locker.
So basically just adds friction between the threads of the device or whatever, and then the screw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, Barefoot Buttons sells that same brand of like, you can put it on their like little threads to keep it locked in. Because the whole thing is like it kept on threading loose for me. Like I think for most people who like are maybe a little more delicate with their pedals, like click, click. Yeah, I'm like blam,
crunch.
It's
okay. Let me ask you a question. How many YouTube videos did you watch before you put that stuff on?
None.
Oh,
I just read it or whatever, and I'm like, okay, put the stuff on there. And you said, yeah, you just put it on the thread. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I put them on all my barefoot buttons.
Damn.
On every screw.
Every screw?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's fine.
And so far, so good. But I'm only playing at home. So we'll see when we actually get to band practice.
When the fucking juices start flowing, bro. When the rock and roll.
I don't want the things to come off.
Liquid rock and roll. I don't know why I keep saying bro. I'm doing like the fucking, I don't know. What's that guy's name? Who's the other podcaster guy? Really popular guy. Everyone listens to him.
Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan. Come on, bro.
Does he say that?
Yeah, he says it all the fucking time.
I guess I don't listen to him really.
I've only watched 2 episodes.
I think I've only seen the Tom DeLonge one.
That was one. And then watched the one where he talked to the I guess I only watch when there's aliens involved. But the guy who worked at Area 51.
Yeah, Tim Dillon's on an episode.
Bob Lazar or something.
Coming up, so I want to check that out. Him and Tim Dillon and Joe Rogan are bros. But I threw those on my Barefoot Buttons, and then I was like, well, you sent me that little like bottle or whatever, little vial.
Yeah, did you go through all that?
No, because I was like, I've had a problem with my live wire cables, like the cheap Guitar Center brand.
Shit, dude. Did you just do the Jack's, or was it Jack's? The Frank's Red Hot Sauce thing? You put it on everything?
I put it on all my live wire cables because I have like some, I don't know, some like the 5-foot and 10-foot ones for like my bedroom that I'm like, they always come loose. What is it? Like that little...
It just unscrews like the sleeve.
The sleeve unscrews easy all the time. So I put that on there and it's... It really locks in there. It really thread locker.
I got you the blue stuff, which is the temporary. Yeah. I think to remove that, you might have to put it in a vise.
Yeah, I'm like,
because I have the red stuff. I was actually looking at it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Right here,
and
it's the more permanent one.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't need that.
No, you don't need it. I don't. You can't get it on with the blue. Which I mean, why would you need to open it ever unless it wasn't working?
Yeah, and I just take it to Guitar Center and they'll give me.
I think you can take a heat gun to it and have it soften up.
But yeah, I was like, it totally works. So I was like, it was a little like, I don't know, a little life hack or whatever. You can get those cheaper live wire cables, which are a lifetime warranty as long as Guitar Center stays open. And you just bring it back and then return it. So I like having some of those cables around. Shit.
You should probably just go through the cables you have and just get a replenish. Just like, even if they are working, just get some new ones before this shit. It's a fan.
But yeah, no, I'm stoked on that. So far so good with that. But yeah, no, that was kind of like a little like revamp of my gear.
Yeah,
I think that it's kind of boring, but that's cool. It's like if you ever have a problem with your Barefoot Buttons, get some of that that blue,
the Permatex or whatever, any thread locker. I think Loctite is also another brand that makes it. Fuck, man.
Get the semi one.
Don't, yeah.
Don't get the,
you just need to add a little friction.
Yeah.
You don't need to add a fucking, and just put a dot on there. Are you filling the whole thing? Let me just ask you that. Are you putting a little dot on it and then screwing it in? Or are you like dousing the fucking threads?
Just glob it on.
It's like using it like mayonnaise. It goes everywhere.
No, I put a couple like little dots on there. So I'm like, this should be fine. I kind of just like screwed it in and out and I'm like to get it on there.
If, just basically draw a line down the threads. Not all the way around it.
Yeah.
But just down the threads. Because you're not, if you were, Here's a little demonstration here or whatever. If you're trying to seal a screw for no liquid to come out, like water or oil or something, you would go all the way around the threads, like with a thread sealant. Mm-hmm. But if you're just doing a thread locker, you just need it on one spot down the threads.
Yeah.
And when you put it on, it's going to smear around a little bit, but it adds friction. You don't need to have it all the way down, or you're not going to get the thing out when you need to remove it. But I don't think you're going to be removing those.
Yeah. So I think I did it right, but we'll see. Because like the threads are so little, so I'm like, I probably got a lot more in there.
It's fine. You'll get it off. It's fine. You always get it off.
Yeah. But no, I'm stoked on those. So we'll see if my size 10s can kick those.
Fucking just stop wearing your Red Wings, dude. You're fucking stomping around.
I haven't used those, but if I did, I'm pretty sure I would like stomp right through the fractal.
Hulk stomp.
Yeah, let's get into some topics. What do you say?
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so this is maybe a first one. I just wanted to like, I don't know, throw one topic out there and we just kind of bat it around with different things that we want to say about it. So well, I guess this was yours. You texted.
Yeah, you're trying to
steal some valor here. Why don't you bring it up then?
All right. So I was just thinking like stereo rigs, bro. Like what
the fuck?
What are they?
WTF?
Where'd they come from?
Who are they? Who, what, when, how, why?
No, like why would you want to use them, right? Because I think we've talked about them before, but we maybe not have. I think maybe they haven't gone into it, or what is stereo? How do magnets work? No.
So stereo rigs are usually, 2 amps.
Yeah. Why would you want to use one?
Yeah. So, I think you have a bigger sound, more of a wider kind of range of your sound.
Yeah.
And a lot of like delay and reverb effects kind of really take advantage of the stereo field.
Yeah.
Of like
the time delay style
like
where they can
like the ping pong
tremolos, you can actually make it more atmospheric.
Yeah, you take advantage of like the range of like left to right. And so your guitar sounds bigger.
Yeah.
So coming out of two sound sources instead of one.
Okay.
So think of like, even if you have two speakers, but they're on my side,
it's still
of
mono.
playing guitar.
Yeah.
It's still a mono sound, but it's like, oh, cool. But if you had like two 1x12 cabs.
Yeah, and you put them like 20 feet or something apart
your
from each
side
other.
and my side, it'll sound kind of bigger.
Yeah.
And then especially if they mic that, and then now it's going through the PA that way, hard panned.
But like, what if, I mean, not to get into specifics, but like how far away they have to be to like, before they just sound like they're still one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Like, I think it really does depend because, having a stereo rig can be just two amps going on it at once, so they're not even using delay effects.
Yeah.
So think of like Tom DeLonge would always run two amps at the same time.
Yeah.
Like in the earlier like Enema of the State Blink days, I Take Every Pinch of Jacket. So it was like the Tom DeLonge sound was a dual rectifier, 100 watts, and a JCM 900, 100 watts. Kind of going
both just running at the same time.
The whole time.
There's no delay, no reverb.
No, at the time he didn't really. He kind of just had like a rolled back volume channel to like make it a little cleaner.
But was one dry and one affected, or were they both affected but just with different tone?
They were both distortion the whole time.
Okay, I mean, I figured.
So like, I guess essentially dry or essentially wet because there was no signal or no effect.
Yeah,
it was just. Here's the Mesa drive, and here's
there you go.
They're both drive. So it's not like one's clean and one's driven at the same time. It's like they're both just drive. So his whole meaning is that like Mesa boogies are kind of inherently scooped sound. So it's like really bassy, really trebly.
Kind of metal-y.
Mm-hmm. And then whereas like Marshalls are more mid-hump.
Yeah.
So if you have the scoop and the hump, they're kind of more of like a bigger sound. So
and you
both
can
of those
spread it out and make it sound like there's more guitars than
it can just be a bigger sound.
Yeah,
because he didn't really take advantage of like the double guitar sound.
Yeah,
it was just like one guitar sound. Boom, here's that. So where one lacked, he had one kind of pushing forward.
Yeah,
and Green Day, Billy Joe does a similar thing to where he has two modded Marshalls.
Yeah,
where they are both similar in the way that like one's more of a JCM 800 but with a mid scoop. One's more of like a JCM 800 with less gain, but more of a just traditional Marshall.
Yeah, not so extreme as Tom DeLonge.
Yeah, but
still
similar idea.
Filling different frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the idea of like you can have two amps going on at once. So that's stereo, but it's not like stereo effects.
Yeah. Those could still technically be mono.
Kind of, but it's two signals, so you still have to mix for two signals.
And they are left and right, so I guess that's
they're
definitive as stereo.
Like I said, Tom's were all on his side. They weren't like cabs on Mark's side and cabs on his side. It was just like, all his Mesa cabs were behind him. All of Mark's Ampeg cabs were behind him.
Yeah.
And so like with Green Day, the Marshall cabs were behind Billy Joe. All of the Fender bass cabs.
So it's really just like you could shape the mid differently than the other ones. You could have different.
It's kind of like, I guess it is stereo, but I think it's technically still stereo, but it's like kind of like a dual mono, I guess.
Yeah.
You can use the TC Electronic Mimic to have still of a stereo kind of thing, but it's like it sounds like two guitars are playing
milliseconds behind each other.
Yeah,
right?
And there's like a little. I love that. So I owned that pedal. I loved it. It was really cool. And then some advantages. I guess before we go to like kind of why I don't think that's always the best thing to do stereo.
Yeah. For
our situation and maybe other people's, but some advantages of that, like just a wider spectrum of sound, bigger effects. Like your effects are just now you're more involved in it. I guess to say. So it's like because they're like. It's like to go, I don't know, more surround sound-ish, even though it's only 2,
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, it's behind me, but also behind him. It's like, oh man, we're cool. We're hearing it now, You're more engulfed in the sound, I guess. Like your guitar is now bigger, I guess. It's like, especially with like the reverbs and delays, like
yeah,
ping, 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 or
ping
even
pong style,
or even having a modulation that kind of like sounds like it's a wave going from left to right.
Yeah,
kind of deal. It's cool. And then also having 2 amps, you can also do the wet dry thing, as you were saying before.
Yeah.
So it's like one of the amps or one of the
unaffected signal, right?
Where it's just like, oh, I'm just going to have a distortion sound the whole time.
Yeah.
And then the other one has your reverb, delays, modulation on one side. So one side is always just kind of your constant, and then the other one is all the crazy effects being added on.
Yeah.
And so the sound guy in front of house, can mix that in, because if you're...
Well, he would just be mixing it kind of like there's another guitarist on stage almost,
kind of,
right?
it's almost that you can do it to be like, sound engineer, crazy can, if not crazy, like they're like, oh, I'm insane. But if like they wanted to get crazy with it during the song, they can add more of your drive guitar in.
If they want to get jiggy with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's getting lost, it's almost like a dry knob on a pedal. So you can always add more of your regular sound in so that you're not getting lost. So you can always add more of that regular amp sound in in case it's getting lost or whatever.
Yeah, or like your delay, whatever is fading and you still need to bolster the sound.
Yeah. So there's, I guess, the Gaslight Anthem, the guitar player from that band, like the lead guitarist, Alex, I believe his name is, used to do that. So it was cool to have 2 amps of him going, and he had a crazy pedal board and stuff like that. And his was all like, your regular pedals, not even doing like the fractal, line 6 route.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's a cool idea. But once they all go together, whatever, it's like in a mix. I'm like, okay, cool. You're adding,
so
like, like sound engineer.
Yeah. So would you effectively, so Alex, whatever, would he have his unaffected, which would probably have a couple effects pedals going to one.
Yeah, like drive.
Amp,
so like,
and then the other one would have all the modulation and the reverb and possibly, I don't know.
Usually you'd be like, okay, all your, I don't know, drive pedals or even volume affected pedals would go to both. And then, so it'd be like your signal's going in, and then it's being split to then.
Then split to the pedals and then out to the amps.
So like all your drive and stuff like that's going to both, and then split from there to add all your reverbs and shit like that.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, it's getting a little complicated.
It is. It can complicate things. So adding another amp will complicate things either double or way more.
Yeah.
To your rig. So this is where I get that having 2 amps is really cool in theory, but to bring it out, because this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to have the wet dry thing. So I was going to have the 80-30 or 80-15 be the dry signal, so to where it have man, I'm stumbling over my words.
It's cool, dude. I'm doing it all night.
Yeah, it's just
these fucking claws are getting
that, and also it's just it's late. So I wanted to have the 80-15 or 80-30 with like interchangeable or whatever with the amp.
Yeah.
To be getting the volume and drives. And then also the next amp was going to be the rock reverb to have the volumes and drives as well, but also get all the, modulation, the delays, the reverb. So I was going to have the wet dry thing going on.
Because the rock reverb really doesn't handle all that shit very well.
No, it does, but it has...
okay.
I'm
wrong.
It has the rock reverb has an effects loop. The 80-30, 80-15
doesn't.
It does not. So I could actually route that in my FX8 at the time, and I was like, oh, this is cool. But then it got to the point where I was like, and we would practice a lot where I would actually be running wet dry at practice.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is cool.
Yeah, but
but
do you really want to take this on the road?
2 amps.
Yeah.
And it got to be like, how much better is this?
Yeah.
Not much. It was not much better.
Yeah.
And and then it got, it brought me to even now I'm just running one signal into that matrix, and that's probably the best I think we have sounded in a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just I have sounded you're like, I have sounded shittier now. Yeah. All your bass rig and the band sounds shittier, but the guitar sounds better. I think not. So,
like basic math would say that if you sound better, then we all sound better.
Yeah,
but I take it offensively. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's just more to deal with.
Yeah,
and it sounds maybe that the more that I play, and we want to gig out and find out more situations that we can play, and when it comes to like, oh, we're eventually going to try to do virtual shows. It's like I want the easiest way possible.
Yeah,
to sound good. I have the ability out of my Axe 8 fractal unit to go right and left. So I could do 2 guitar signals out and have them panned. But I'm like, why?
Yeah.
What is that going to do for me? And, you could be like, well, you're a punk band, Brian. That's kind of blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, that's probably a reason too. But to me, I'm like, I just want one good guitar sound.
Yeah.
I want one good bass sound. One good vocal for me, one good vocal for you, and then then we can focus on drums, because that's the hardest one always to like record. So we can put all our energy into that. And then even when recording, our band and demos and stuff like that, I don't even like adding 2 mics to a cab.
Yeah.
Just get one fucking good sound out of the cab. Put one mic on it. Because people's like, you can blend mics and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah. That's just one more thing.
It's just one more thing.
One more thing to do and one more thing to fuck up.
Yeah, so it even comes to the studio, and like I said, I have the ability out of the fractal to do 2 XLRs, so I'm not even like I'm miking. I can just get a stereo field.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to do that. No. I get nothing out of that. There's nothing coming from that. So, like I said, it's more work. It's harder to mix, and playing live, now you have to like kind of said before, your sound engineer, who's like not even your sound engineer, it's the club's sound engineer. Like, hey, buddy,
yeah,
make something good out of that.
In 4 months, you'll be doing stereo. I mean, just by our track record,
probably. As much as I'm saying it's not, but the thing is, I've tried it already. I've already gone away from stereo. I think the track record has gone to less stuff, smaller, easier. So maybe we won't. Who knows? But like, I can't speak for it because we'll probably be doing that. But
what are some things that some things that are attainable, like pedals or something that you can buy that would give you a stereo sound?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'd have to have another amp. I'm saying, but
it's gonna be
you have to have another amp.
Have to have 2 amps.
But what is something that you can purchase that you can get that stereo sound instantly, and you can do your ping pong, you can do all these other effects. I know there are certain companies that specialize. You know?
I mean, there's the all those like bigger delay pedals, bigger delay, like Eventide, Boss, the DD500, Strymon, yeah.
Even my Walrus pedals have like a left and a right.
Yeah, I think was it the Descent? Yeah,
and the Bellwether.
Mm-hmm.
So
you can integrate that into like a stereo rig, and I know that some companies have like summing devices to where it's like, oh, you may not always be going out of 2 amps, but if you use this, you can just always plug into one input and it knows to sum that into a mono.
Really?
Matthews
so that you can
effects, I believe.
You can run those things back into that thing and make it a mono?
Yeah. I think it's Matthews Effects.
Really?
Has one in particular. I hope he still makes it. It's a cool idea. It's like super simple,
it's
one like mini like little input that you put under your board.
Really?
So how you have the inputs and outputs or whatever.
Yeah.
He has that you can plug into underneath your board. So it's a good idea to be like, oh, we can always like sum into this or whatever. It's a cool idea.
I've never heard of that. That's pretty cool.
It's
like a utility pedal.
It's a utility. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a cool idea. And if people go back and forth, to me, I'm like, I think I've tried the 2 amp thing, and I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I think I remember looking at it when I was like, oh, the idea of going from 2 to 1, But yeah, all those pedals, like, I mean, Earthquaker Devices has like the Pyramids, which is a stereo flanger, which is another modulation effect that could be like, similar to like, obviously like a Strymon, like Mobius would be like those stereo effects of like it has like the Leslie effects in the Mobius or whatever, but a flanger of just going
moving,
between two, it would be perfect.
I know, was it Mr. Black has a bunch of stereo pedals too.
Yeah, I think you've tried like the twin lasers and shit like that.
Damn,
like the phaser dual, like the
those
two.
are cool.
And it's a very cool, fun thing to play on your own.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have to be like, you got fucking 10 minutes set up and break the other band down and I get 2 amps, I'm like, shit.
Yeah. And once you're dedicated to the 2 amp thing, you kind of have to do it.
Yeah. And that's
unless you have that Matthews pedal.
Yeah, you can always go back and forth. And I know that there's some other options that have that. And it's just, I haven't found much of a benefit between having 2 amps. Like, I played, 2 orange amps, and I played them out of 2 4x12s and at band practice. I'm like, I don't get much out of this, except for like the one intro to a song we have. Where it's like I have a ping pong kind of like
a syncopated
delay. It goes between the 2 amps, but I actually can just do that in my fractal wood, just coming out of 1 amp, just like, and we can't really tell much of a difference.
No,
it sounds way cooler out of the 2 amps. I give you that, but not cool enough to bring 2 amps.
Yeah,
and
just record it that way,
from like YouTubers that I watch Pete Thorne, Red Shull. One says it was great and I like to have this all the time, and then the other one says it's not worth it. So Pete Thorne, because he's playing bigger tours and stuff like that, when he does tour and it's all provided for him, it's like, I love having 2 amps and all my whole rig, I need to have that stereo field. Whereas Rhett Shull, I think, was sponsored by Line 6. They gave him 2 of the 1x12 power cabs. Yeah. And he had a Line 6 Helix floor unit. So he toured with that with one of his session gigs. And he says, like, it wasn't worth it. He's like, I could have just gone away with just the 1x12.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I kind of would bring that, and I was like, I never got the stereo effects out of a band sense. He's like,
well,
cool.
When it comes down to it, you're just trying to play.
Yeah,
you're not trying to fucking change the world.
Yeah, because he's like, oh man, I set it all up for stereo and stuff like that.
Fucking blew their minds, bro.
Because he was like, because he likes. I love the idea. He plays a whole Strymon bridge, as he says. He's got all 3 of them, and he's got all these stereo effects. But he's like, when you bring it out to a show, it's like kind of you don't notice. Which sucks. Yeah. Because you spend all the time like, I got my crazy stereo cool sounds. He's like, but when you go on stage, it's like, we got the drums going, loud guitars and bass and shit like that. It's like, you don't, nobody notices in the crowd.
They don't know what they're hearing.
And he's like, and I didn't notice, and I had in-ear monitors.
Damn.
So he's like, well.
Yeah.
So he's like, that's my 2 cents. Some people love it. So
dang.
I kind of take that.
All right. Well, we got another topic, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. So this is another just like bat around topic. Yeah. When writing songs and, for playing, for Sunrunner, stuff like that you're doing, are you ever concerned about the genre of the songs? Like, what can this fit in? Like, is this, I don't know, like say more specific for playing, which is guitar-based band? Are you thinking of like, well, this doesn't really fit. Like, it's not really a pop punk song. It's not really a punk song or rock or whatever. Or you just kind of just want to get the song out.
I kind of want to get the song out, right? But I don't listen to it after and then go, oh, I got to change all this shit. I just go, oh, that's its own thing. That's not a part of whatever I'm doing. Next song. I'll just, I'm like, oh, that's its own thing. That sounds, whatever I just made, I'm going to put that on the fridge or whatever. I'm done with that one.
Well, yeah.
Come back to it later.
I'm sure we have people who listen to the show that are songwriters or they're aspiring and doing that with their bands and whatever. It's like, what are you concerned with? Like, what would work for our genre? Or you just want to, when a song's done, let's try it for the band.
Yeah. Sometimes when a song is in my head, it's done. It still might not fit the band.
Yeah.
We might try it out, and if it doesn't really work, oh well,
But you're not really like, oh, this song needs
let's
to
try
do
and
this.
Mold this again.
Yeah. And I think
sometimes things need to change.
Yeah, and I think at our No, I mean, yeah. I mean, we don't care as much about like a genre or whatever. I think when we were defining the band that it is now as a 3-piece like punk rock band or whatever, we had to make things we kind of were jamming things out in our younger days and they just didn't fit and they didn't translate over.
Yeah.
So we were more concerned about like, okay, making more higher gain distortion and, whatever. This needs to translate to like
we ditched like 14 songs or something.
Yeah, we kind of just started writing
again. Yeah, we just changed it.
Or writing all new ones. And that was kind of like the only time I think I was concerned about a genre or style.
Yeah.
And now we're just kind of like, it's cop out, I guess. We're just rock.
Yeah.
It's a rock. It doesn't even have to be like, has to be high gain and stuff like this or whatever. I'm like, if I can play it on the guitar, you can play it on the bass and we can sing it. And the drummer can hit things.
We're not trying to fit a genre because I think we've kind of even changed in the last 5 or 6 songs we've written. We're not trying to stick to a genre. I'm sure a lot of bands do, because they play something and they ditch it or whatever, but we're just trying to put something, that's not even a good way to put something together where if we all like it, then we're going to play it.
Yeah. And I think that's I don't know. It's probably be like, well, you're never going to make it as a band. I'm like, that's fine.
I know like Tom DeLonge with Boxcar Racer, those were like songs he had written, but realized they weren't going to fit in the mold of Blink.
Yeah. Which I think they totally could have.
They could have.
Because of like, think of how far they developed within Tom being in the band.
Yeah.
From like the self-titled album to even like when they came back for Neighborhoods, which actually I went back and listened to. It's not that bad of an album. The one who sucks it up is Mark Hoppus.
Yeah.
His lyrics are bullshit. And he phones in his vocals. He's a terrible, like he's the one who sucked that band up. Put that on record. Tom was good.
You're liable for that now.
Yeah, like put it on record.
Mark's gonna come.
His guitar parts were cool. His vocals were like very Tom. It's like, hey, he did the. I'm trying to think of like
his.
Well, you better duck and cover. Well, he did his Tom DeLonge thing.
That's pretty good.
But it worked. You can tell that's very Tom DeLonge. Whereas Mark is just like, I hitting the notes and auto tune that, and I'm just gonna make up word kaleidoscope in the world. Like, the fuck was that? Like, it's very shitty, by the way.
Anyway, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Anyway,
you've convinced me.
All the Mark Hoppus songs, skip.
Yeah.
Or just listen to him and think of like how he's the worst member of that band.
All right.
And then he's the one that's still in it. Anyway, so I'm sure they were concerned about that. Of like, this won't fit our genre. They could have totally made that a Blink. Album. But I think for us, we're not really concerned because I'm like, this isn't our job. And we just want to make music that we like.
Yeah.
I think that the fact that we're 3 people that enjoy playing music together, that it's like, that's maybe a bad example of like, like you guys trying to like put out an album that like, is this type of statement or whatever. Like, no.
Yeah. Cause I mean, I just try to make stuff I like. Let's say on my side project, I like to make things that I like and that sound cool, but they don't always fit. Like, I think I have that in my head, that concept sci-fi kind of thing I'm working on, but they don't always fit that. Like, I've listened to some of the songs that don't feel the 80s space odyssey thing that's in my head,
like the retro wave, synth rave.
They don't really fit that. Like
synth rave.
I have like songs that are
can't talk.
Would you let me finish?
No.
No.
I can't even finish. Hey now.
Whoa now. So there are songs that are completed, have like, like a 3-minute, 4-minute song or something that doesn't even fit what I'm doing. But it's like, I'll run with an idea and then I get to the end. Oh, that's cool. Put that, maybe I'll come back to this later and adjust something or change a song, change a synth on it, change the drums, but it's there. And, whatever. It's not anything published, but, I make it for me and I don't try and fit in a peg.
Get in where you fit in. And, and I think right now I'm just writing stuff that is fun to play.
Yeah.
And more comfortable, I guess.
I think if we were like a huge band,
you'd have that pressure.
We would, yeah. From what, let's say we were signed to some crazy ass label, which will never happen. But yeah, I'm sure there are pressures to fit because it's like, this is the tried and true method. This is what makes us money. Make something better than you did before.
Well, yeah, and then also there's like, I don't know, you listen to some records or albums or whatever, and there's like songs that just totally stand out. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like that's super random. Like
how did that make the cut? That didn't fit in like the rest of the songs.
So yeah, why wasn't this on the B reel?
Which it probably is like, oh, this is not the single that we're pushing, but it's it's a song on the record.
Sometimes they're fillers, but sometimes some of the songs are kick ass.
Yeah.
It's like a different side of the band.
And sometimes they're not.
That is also true.
Yeah. You would always hope that everything that you write is like, oh, this is the best of the best that we can do. But yeah, no, I mean, I think about that. Or maybe I thought of this when I was just working on song ideas and demos for videos that I'm working, I have 2 at the moment that I'm spinning 2 plates. One of them I've already spoken about what I'm doing, and I just need to finish it. But I kind of, painted myself in a corner of like how I need to do it. I'm doing a video just demoing all 4 of the native audio pedals, and I kind of, have a style idea of like I want to use all of them in maybe like a 1.5 minute song, and I'm like, oh shit, this is harder than I thought, because I basically have pieces that I have to try and make work. Yeah. So you have your block puzzle pieces. I'm like, how do I fucking transition these different parts?
Yeah.
And then, but I'm able to use the effects and sound cool, but I'm like, how can I write this to do that? Whereas then I'm doing another video for my Equitz guitar, my Rayburn, just like playing a song. And I'm just like, kind of just started jamming something out. I'm like, oh, this is just, I had less restrictions on it. I just wanted to play it just to be like, here's the guitar and a song. And people are like, oh, we needed that. Oh boy. But I'm like just playing around with it. And to me, I'm like, oh, well, I didn't have any genre specifics or any like even like sound specifics for this, Equit song. And it's easier for me to blow through it,
Yeah.
Whereas the native audio one, I'm like, oh,
everything has to have their own breathing room.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to make it really sound like Angels and Airwaves, because I'm like, when I use a phaser, delay, and reverb, that's my Angels and Airwaves song.
Yeah,
it's just like it just make you play like the same riff like a bunch of times, and just like with delay over. Yeah, it's like I'm like, you're like, yes, this is epic. I'm like, you're playing 2 notes. I'm like, yes, I am.
It's like, you too, bro.
Mm-hmm. You too can't do this. Yeah. And so I don't know. It was, I don't know, less of a topic and just me just asking you a question. Like I kind of just write the song for itself, and like it'll stand on its own or it won't.
Yeah.
And we can bring it to the band. And like sometimes I'm like, oh, this will work, and the band wants to play it already. But
yeah, I get that. I sometimes I present a song, and then while I'm trying to explain it, I'm like, this isn't worth it, but I'm too far in.
I'm just giving up.
Guys, could you just try this?
Well, I think it was one of the last practices we had. You were like, oh, let's try this. And like, you had a riff. And I'm like,
just
okay.
A riff.
I'm like, what? Okay, what else do you want to do? And
you're that was it.
Nothing.
I just want to hear it.
It's not
worth it anymore. Can we move on? Well, like, what are we building here? What are we doing?
What do you want to try? I'm like, no. It's like, forget I said anything.
Yeah.
Pop smoke. Gone.
Yeah. Like angel dust. Or angel dust. Ninja dust.
Angel. Do some angel dust.
Shit. Damn.
It's angel dust, Holmes.
Oh, yeah. Fucking Friday.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning into the Tone Jerks podcast. If you like what you hear, you can follow along on social media.
Instagram, Facebook group.
That is true. On Instagram at the Tone Jerks, we have a Facebook group. Search the Tone Jerks, you'll find it. And actually, like I say that all the time, you can actually look at the description, and I link both. So
all right,
you can just click there too.
Go click crazy.
Mm-hmm. So besides that, if you like what you hear, you can leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It's been a while since we had one of those. And if you write something and rate us, hopefully
we'll
5.
Read it, yeah.
Hopefully you rate us 5 stars. We'll read it on the air. And if you really like what you hear, you can help support the show on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. But if you double down for $2 a month, you get an extra episode every week.
Yeah.
just for the support there, we're going to give you a huge shout out, a sizable acknowledgement. Kyle, you got a list of names over there?
I got it right here.
You want to give it to me?
Whoa. I try to jump in on that with you. Sometimes I do. Yeah. And it never really works out. All right. Andrew Walsh, Adam Rohr from the Let 'Em Hear podcast.
Yeah, we give people shout outs. I think we always forget. Andrew Walsh, Andrew's Alcove.
Yes.
On Instagram and Facebook.
He does
got a guitar repair.
Yeah.
And mods and shit like that. Check it out.
Yeah. Doug King. Doug Chris from 37 Effects. Spell it out. It's 30, the word, 7, the number, and then FX. He's on Instagram. He's
triple X.
Yeah. No, don't do the triple X. That takes you to a different site.
Yeah.
But it's still hosted by Doug. Sorry, Doug. We talked about you a lot this episode, and you deserved every bit of that. Doug. Sorry, Doug.
Deleted Patreon. Blocked. Just all blocked.
We talked about gear. What do you want? What more do you want? Abe Newman, Michael Newman, Aaron Taylor, Nicholas Payson, Nicholas Ogburn, Colin Smith, Jason Fuzzmonger, Joe from Like My Pedals, Will and RJ from the Just Surprise Me podcast.
Do your fingernails ever get so dirty?
Oh, fucking all the time.
I'm just looking at them right now. I'm like, oh, God, it's fucking disgusting.
I always scrub mine. I mean, I deal with soap a lot, so it's like my hands are clean or they don't have skin on them because the soap I deal with is like super strong.
Yeah.
It's super alkali, so it just will strip your skin off.
Yeah. I feel like, I'm just looking at it right now. Sorry. But it's like, fuck, dude.
You gotta get a nail brush. That's the ticket. Basically any hand soap. You just put it on that thing and just dig in there. Just fucking done.
I hated that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My parents would clean under my nails and they would just,
it hurts, right?
Yeah. I think that's like what's like stuck with me. It's like they would scrape the shit out of it.
Well, you can, when you pinch yourself, it doesn't hurt as much when someone else does it.
Yeah.
Probably the same thing.
I haven't been pinched in a while, but I don't like it. And I know that for a fact.
We're not talking about your ass. All right.
When that happens, like, ooh, I hate that.
All right. Let me wink. All right. Those guys were from the Just Surprise Me podcast.
Yeah. That's kind of fitting.
Yeah. We won't call them the Jism Boys anymore.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. We got a cease and desist from them. All right. Just kidding. Rom Yorn, Jamie Davis, Jim Bowers, Johnny Ray. I like how I'm reading them faster. Like I got a time. I'm supposed to
get under a certain time.
Steve Mike, Steve Rowell from 60 Cycle Hum.
It's like the Mario 64 time trial. You have your ghost you're trying to get.
Yeah. Or was it Gran Turismo? You got your ghost car. You're trying to
the exact same thing I said, but in a different game.
Yeah, but it's a different game. It is a game because ghosts don't exist.
You think it's a fucking game?
Actually, ghosts do exist. I'm looking at him right now.
Yeah, you ghost me every time.
Boom. Kevin, he quits Guitars. Can we just get through this? Jesus Christ. Co Schneider from the Flippin' Flippers podcast.
Speaking of ghosting, come on.
Yeah, Co Schneider from the Flippin'
Never texts back.
Yeah, no, he does.
He does all the time.
Like too much, actually. Now I think about it. Brett. He doesn't.
I'm just going to leave you hanging with that one.
It's like my own bit that I can't even finish. Brett Alexander. Alvaro Viramontes.
It's like an alley-oop that you try and hit off the backboard. It hits the rim and just right in the glasses, just breaks them.
Brian from Nutter Guitars. Leon from Pelican Noiseworks. Mel Chibson from Chibson Guitars.
I think no relation to the Chibson Guitars on Instagram.
Yeah.
But still.
I don't think they're going to sue. I don't think there's going to be a lawsuit.
You guys have no case here.
Yeah, that's kind of the joke.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, man, that's pretty good. All right, Sean Fahey. Sean, I can't even. Chipson. All right, Sean Arbo from Gun Street Wiring Shop. Sean Wright from Lollygagger Effects. Juan Ortiz from Tone Hungry Effects. Mike Oxbig. Zach Hale.
You just try and barrel through this.
Yeah. Eric,
licking your lips.
Yeah.
Mike Oxbig.
Eric Merrill from YouTube.
Sorry, Eric.
Sorry, Eric. We ruined that. Scott Hamilton from the Effects Loop podcast. Tim Nowick from Bardic Audio Devices. And Jonathan Jerezik from 12th Hour Devices.
All right.
And that's the list.
That's it.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll
so much.
see you next week. Bye-bye.